Thank you for tuning in to the Helium Radio Network. You are listening to a rebroadcast of a previously recorded show.
Welcome back to Sessions with Sarah. It's July. Everybody is getting ready to do traveling, and I have one of my co-partners on Helium Radio from Travel Babies. We call her Louise, but what are we going to call you here? Are we going to call you Jacqueline?
JQ.
Oh, JQ. All right. Travel Babies is also hosted here on Helium Radio, and she has it with her sister, but I have one half of the baby here. So welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Sarah. I know Juliana wished she could be here, but she's actually in France right now. Oh. So the time zone is a little tough, but she's having a great time.
No, what is she there for a couple months, I understand?
Yeah, so she's with her boyfriend, PL. So she's been there since June 20th, and she's staying until August 20th.
Lucky girl. Has she been having a good time?
Yeah, she's been having a blast.
Yeah. Now I understand that you're going over there too, right?
Yep. I'm going, I leave this Sunday and I'm there for about like 10 days.
Can you bring me with you?
I wish. It's crazy. I mean, travel has like picked right back up, and I've been like so busy, and it's crazy because there's so many options right now, but it's still it's still tricky, you know, figuring out all the rules and everything like that.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. So, because I'm in the pharmacy, and I'm not even kidding you, so I feel like you can answer this more, maybe, I hope, for the listeners. I don't know. I don't have the answers for them. They'll be like, well, there's this guideline, and I have to have this rapid test before I go to this country. There's all different kinds of rules and regulations. Do you know, like, if they need a COVID test, what do you need to do for, like, if you're going to France or something? You've been to Mexico. You've been everywhere. So let us know what the deal is.
Yeah. So each country still has their own regulations, and it's changing all the time. So, you know, the best place for information that I found is usually your airline. So the airlines have gotten really good about, you know, sending out pre-trip emails. So they're actively sending people the correct information because there's so many news articles and stuff like that that could be outdated. So the first place I go to double check is the airline, but also, you know, you want to either find it from the airline or directly from the source from the country. So usually it's like their State Department will have the most accurate information. So, you know, what I've been telling people is avoid news articles because things change all the time. So the best place, check the airline, then because the airline is usually easier to find for information, and like Delta, JetBlue, American, like all the big airlines have dedicated like COVID travel restriction websites where you can just pick the country or put in your flight information and it'll come up. So the airlines have done a great job with that. But then when you go to just double check with the actual country, because we need to double check because even maybe the airline, you know, they update it daily. You want to make sure that, you know, you're just getting the right information. So look for like a .gov type of website, or I usually just type in like France travel restrictions and look for the government website to come up, and then you know that it's accurate.
That's good to know because a lot of people don't know this information. So it's like really great that's why I was like, you got to come on and we got to answer all these questions about it. Do you like, all right. So like a lot of people are coming in for COVID tests, but like the CVS one per se doesn't cover some of the states. So like, do you know what they're looking for? What's different? I don't know actually.
Yeah. So it's very specific. So some countries and some states require PCR tests, which are the, it's like polymorphous chain reaction.
That's good. Oh.
I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, you did it.
But you know, that is
over that word.
Yeah, I know. Right. I feel like I read it a million times a day. But yeah, so, you know, that's that's a full lab test. Like that's the most like official type of test. And then, the other one is the antigen test, which is a rapid test, which is, the 15-minute thing. And, more and more places are accepting the 15-minute rapid test,
Okay.
but it's also called antigen sometimes.
Right.
So, those are the two types. I think the other one that some people get confused about is the antibody test, which is different.
Oh yeah. Right. That's a blood.
Yeah, that's a blood
totally
test that just shows if you have the antibodies that your body fought off COVID. So, you really just need to check all the regulations because different states, different countries require different things. But the good news is if you're fully vaccinated, most places are only requiring that and no testing.
So you would show your card?
Yeah, so you have to show your card. So like when I went on our trip to Lithuania a few weeks ago.
She's everywhere. Not even kidding. You got to listen to her because we have to promote.
Yeah, I know. So we'll be doing an episode on Travel Babies all about Lithuania in a few weeks. Friday, we're actually doing travel tips on booking your first trip to Europe.
Oh, perfect.
Actually.
Yep.
So, so again, we're talking about all this kind of stuff because it is so confusing, but the best thing to do is do your research. So,
absolutely.
But the good news is if you have the vaccine, honestly, that checks off a lot of countries for you right now, especially in Europe. Like for France, all I need to show is proof of full vaccination. They were initially requiring, negative COVID tests within 72 hours, and they required PCR tests previously, but they took that away. So now all you need is the vaccine, which is great news. But the thing to remember is a lot of these countries now in the country, you'll have to show your actual card. So you want to bring the physical card with you.
So a picture won't do, like on your phone?
No. So they're saying, it will probably work for you.
I'm so afraid I'd forget it.
I know. So like I've taken pictures of it. I've emailed it to myself. I have it on Dropbox, but it's like we're still have to bring that thing around. So
right. It's like we need extra copies.
I know.
Seriously. I would be that person that would forget it. I guess the best thing to do if you're traveling, I guess what I would do is tape it to my passport somehow, maybe in the book cover.
Yeah. So that's what I like right now. I have it just like in my passport, like in the pages. But the good thing is it is smaller. Like every time I think, oh, it's too big, like, but it is actually like pretty small. So like you can easily fit it like in your wallet or whatever. So yeah, get used to bringing that around. Like in Lithuania, we had to show it at a few places.
To get into like a restaurant and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. Like such great information because I can't answer these questions for people. And like, I've had people come in and they're like panic. They're like, well, the rapid test won't do. Where do I get a PCR? I'm like, I don't know. We do rapid.
Yeah. So like for the PCR test, like it's great because the state of Massachusetts is still doing like the free stop the spread testing. So like that was my go-to whenever I needed a PCR test was to just go to one of the free ones because it's hosted by the state, like that's what it's there for. So I use that and they always got the results back like within 24 hours, which was super fast.
Oh, that is super fast. Cause I've heard people complain for like days it's taken. It's like crazy. So that's good to know. So like a lot of the state sites, well, especially we're in Boston, the two of us. So Boston's pretty up and up on everything. So that's always good too. Yeah. A lot of like, so what's it like traveling? Like you said, you went to Lithuania. Are they still wearing masks like crazy? Like, do you have to wear them into places or are there more free restrictions? Or like Mexico, you've been to Mexico, which I was super jealous. Like, what are you finding the differences in going to different places?
It really depends. The one thing that I've seen that's been kind of a constant is in cities, it's a lot more particular. Like, so in Lithuania, you had to wear it indoors in the cities, but in the countryside and in like the other regions, like we went to like their version of Cape Cod, basically like their beach towns. And there they didn't require it because everybody's outside. It's very spread out. But in Vilnius, the capital city, we had to wear it everywhere indoors and it was very strict. And we saw everybody else wearing masks too. So, and that's just kind of what I've noticed. I think, I mean, in Mexico, like I've only really been to like resorts recently. So,
Okay.
there it kind of depends on what the resorts policies are for
Mhm.
indoor stuff. I mean, I know most of the big hotel chains, they have kept like indoors when you're in a confined area, you have to wear a mask.
Mhm.
Um, but Mexico overall, like their COVID rules are a little bit looser. So as
Yeah,
and again, it kind of makes sense too, because if you're outside and spread out, um, that's been kind of the general guidelines. But yeah, it really depends.
it does. I think like speaking of when you said the thing about the Cape, you've probably seen like Provincetown has this huge outbreak of the COVID. Why can't I
The
think of them?
like the breakthrough cases where
Yes,
like
yes, where they're all vaccinated, right? So do you ever get nervous going out to other countries which aren't as vaccinated as we are, that you're going to pick up something, or you know what I mean? Or are you just more cautious? Do you still, just so people know,
yeah,
going
yeah.
into hotels, like the air quality, like sometimes people might be afraid because remember how we had to wear masks inside for a while? Like, do you ever worry about anything like that?
I mean, to be honest, I haven't any of the places that we've been haven't been high risk areas. I mean, I know,
Yeah.
Mexico in general, I think
Yeah.
is technically high risk, but
Right.
the areas that we've gone, like they have not been crowded.
Right.
And the hotels that we've chosen to go to have very high, sanitary standards and specific COVID
Mhm.
policies. So I definitely keep that in mind whenever I'm choosing to go anywhere. I think, the
Right.
first thing I do is look at, the general risk profile or whatever
Right.
of the place.
Okay.
But then I think it's really down to the specific choices that you make. Like, like in Mexico, I feel like they've gotten some bad press, but the resorts that I've gone to have been amazing. Like
Mhm.
they've gone above and beyond to keep everybody safe. Like they do distancing, they're frequently cleansing things, and
Right.
they've been very like outside focused trips also.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think it really depends. I mean, definitely do your research. I mean, that's what, again, like on Travel Babies, we talk about this all the time. It's like
Mhm.
the only thing you can do is prepare yourself. So do your
Right.
research and, know what you're getting into and, make smart choices to, go to areas that are safe, stay outside, stay away from big crowds, make
Right.
sure you're researching the hotels, that kind of thing.
Right. Oh, I mean, it's like I always say to you, like off camera, I'm like, "You're so brave. You're going to do all these things. Can I come?" And then I'm like, "Can I come?" So, so you're headed to France next week. Are you hanging out with your sister? Are you gonna do some episodes out there?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of stuff planned. Like I'm so excited because like I haven't been to France since 2019 and it's one of my favorite places.
Huh?
So we're gonna go to the south of France. We're going to a few different spots. So I'm really
Okay.
excited.
Is that where Saint Tropez is?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did you see all the pictures of J
Yeah.
Lo and then you have A Rod?
I can't believe it. Like Bennifer is back. Like it's so weird.
And
Like
A
when
Rod be sailing in the same seas with like Jesse James Decker of all people. This makes no
yeah,
sense. What's going
no.
on?
I don't know. Like I'm so curious to see like what the vibe will be down there because it's funny. Like I feel like
Yeah.
the celebs like go to Saint Tropez
So
like
you're going.
all summer. So
Are
we're
you going?
we're we're going there for one day.
Okay.
But we'll be in Cannes for a few days, and like there's always celebs there too. So I'm excited to
Oh,
see who's out
so
and
can you
about.
see who you see?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
100%.
speaking of pictures, you also have an Instagram. You've always been traveling, and then you decided to do this podcast with your sister. And then I decided that you needed to be on the Fridays with Sarah because it's so interesting to have, especially when we were going through COVID, having you guys here to talk about traveling because you travel, but you have one hell of an Instagram. And I have to tell you, because we haven't talked in a week, we just quickly were like, okay, let's do this time. But your pictures are awesome lately. They're just, well, they always were, but there's some awesome ones this week I saw. So
Oh,
you're an incredible photographer.
oh, thank you so much. I know
Yeah,
the recent
come with me.
yeah, no, I'm so happy with like recently I've been posting all like the Nantucket photos and stuff like that. And
Yeah, you've been
it's so nice. Like, I don't know, it's so photogenic down there. It's honestly
beautiful.
so easy to get beautiful photos.
I know. We all need places. You've done Newport. Did you go to Gurney's in Newport? That's like my favorite spot.
I love Gurney's.
Yeah.
I love it.
Did you
And it's
go? Yeah, did you get to go in? They have the Tesla that drives you around too. So guys, if you're looking for a place to get drinks or if you can't afford to stay at Gurney's because it's super expensive, I highly recommend it. You get rides in a Tesla.
I haven't done that there.
But you have a Tesla, so what do you care?
I mean, hey, I'm a big Tesla fan. I think they're awesome. So, and also Newport is very Tesla friendly. So we actually did, that was one of the first road trips that we took when we got the Tesla this spring. And it was awesome. Like there's chargers everywhere, like free public chargers and they work for Teslas or any other EVs. So FYI, if you have an EV or a Tesla, like
that, they're like such a hot, like my mom's friend got the version with the wings and we all went up to Vermont. But it is funny that like you have to like plan your trip. This is so like, well, we're talking about travel, planning your travel around where there might be a plug.
Yeah. No, it's so funny. It was so weird to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's like a no-brainer. And then you hate going to gas stations. So like our other car is a gas car, and it's so annoying whenever we have to go to the gas station now because it just feels like we shouldn't have to. Because whenever you charge, it's always like when you're doing something else. It's never like you specifically go to charge.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's funny though. So wait, you can put gas in it too as a backup?
No. I mean, like our second car is like a gas car.
Your second. I was gonna say I don't remember, but I didn't know if like because I don't know everything about it. But yeah, you did your Tesla tour. You did your tour in Newport, and now you're going to France. You're gonna see all the celebs. Now, anything else planned for the rest of the summer?
Oh, I have so many things like it up in the air that I want to do.
Which one am I coming on?
Hopefully, maybe to Italy. I'm trying to plan it. I'm trying to plan an Italy trip like before the summer's over. I'm hopefully like early September kind of thing. So
I've never been. Have you?
Oh yeah, I love Italy. Like I did study abroad there. I got married there. I go there like every year if I can.
Yeah.
No, so I mean, I would love to go to Italy before the summer's over, and before any travel restrictions change.
Like that could be coming again.
So I don't know. I mean, people have been in Europe. I don't know. It's a little bit different in terms of the news. Like when we were in Lithuania, I mean, because they don't have a strong vaccination program, like we're fortunate that in the US, you know, we have a very strong vaccination program and it's very available to people, but there it's not the case. So, you know, I don't know. We'll see.
But I mean, so that's a good thing. It'll be interesting to see going forward. I like keep saying, I feel like by the end of this week, by the time this episode goes live Friday, we might have to be back in our masks. Mandatory.
I know. I really don't know. It's so, I mean, did you see the CDC's announcement today?
No, because I've been doing this and working.
So I saw they recommended that K through 12 wears masks indoors full time.
Oh, okay.
And then they recommended if you're in a risky area, that you wear a mask indoors, even if you're vaccinated, if it's a high risk situation.
Well, I will say, to all the unvaccinated people who come into the pharmacy, this has nothing to do with travel, but why are you not wearing a mask when you haven't even had your first vaccination? I always have to give them to them. It just blows my mind, but that's a whole different topic. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that because, I guess all the people that come in to get their vaccine, it's like, you know, that they haven't had it.
Right. And even if it's your second dose, you're not fully vaccinated for another 2 weeks after I do it. But so I hope people kind of get, like I can say it, get your vaccines, people. It's not going to hurt you. We both had ours within a month of each other. Yep. So yeah, I had the JJ, but
hey, I felt fine. And honestly, getting the vaccine has made me so confident in travel because, you know, right when I was like past the 2 weeks, I was like ready to travel, or whatever, 3 weeks ready to travel. And like, I felt great this whole summer. And I think, you know, we all should keep doing whatever we're supposed to do, but you know, getting vaccinated is a big step.
Especially if you're going to travel, because you're going to need that.
Exactly. You need it. And that's what makes it so easy. Like, that's why, you know, to go to France next week, I don't have to do any testing. I just have my vaccine card. And then when I'm there, you need your vaccine to go indoors anywhere now. So in France, they're very strict. like starting August 1st, to go indoors, you need a vaccine card.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, I do like what they're doing over there in France, actually. I think they have a great plan. So yeah. But I know you have to go because you have another call to do, but I wanted to ask you, where should people travel to this summer or this fall? What would you advise as your favorite places to go besides taking me to Italy?
Honestly, I think this is the best time to go to Europe that we've had in a long time because there's no crowds. So yeah, so that's the biggest thing that my sister has been sharing with me, that, I mean, she's been in she's been in Paris, she's been in south of France, she's been in, Provence, like all of these are popular tourist areas and there's zero crowds.
That's so cool in a way.
Yeah, no, she loves it. Like there's no crowds, and the flight prices to Europe have kind of normalized again. They were super high back in June, but now I think they've kind of normalized. So they're not so expensive because there's plenty of routes again. The airlines are pretty much back to normal with how many flights they have. So I think if you can manage it, go to Europe, like just do a week-long trip and you'll have a great time.
You don't have to wait in line.
Exactly.
That's great. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited that we have all this knowledge now about traveling, especially clear up for all the patients and people who ask me these questions. I didn't have the answers for them. So you had all the answers for us, and it's great to see you. Have a great trip next week. And Travel Babies also is alongside Sessions with Sarah on Helium Radio. And man, we are kicking butt lately. We're doing really great. So we hope that you download and tune in and have a good time. And make sure you check out Travel Babies. We have some good content coming up for you. JQ, thank you so much. Have fun.
Thanks, Sarah.
All right. We'll talk soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Helium Radio. The views expressed by show hosts or their guests are their own and should not be construed in any way as advice from Helium Radio. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our website. Personal perspectives expressed by the producers, writers, and editors will always be presented as such. Any rebroadcast or retransmission without the express written consent of Helium Radio is strictly prohibited. Thanks for listening.